Welcome back to Cowgirl Up. Today I'm going to be talking about something pretty personal from my past in the hopes of helping someone else who might be going through it out there and just letting you in on what happened to me, how I knew it was happening, and how I eventually got out of it. So let's just dive right in. So I'm gonna tell you exactly all about my stalker and how I survived this guy. Let me start out by telling you I'm not someone who scares easily, but this guy had me really freaked out. I think he was a narcissist, and this part takes a little explaining. Okay, so some backstory here. I knew one previously and he slashed my tires, but I wasn't even dating him. So you can imagine what he did to the person that he was dating. Now, prior to this, I had no idea what a narcissist even was. Yes, I grew up very, very sheltered. He was extremely possessive and really didn't like me because A, I wouldn't put up with his shit, and B, I was obviously trying to get my friend to see the truth about him, but he saw that I was doing that, so he scared me away and really wouldn't let her associate with me anymore. It's true that there is a veil pulled over your eyes when dating a narcissist because everybody will tell you it's a bad situation. I mean, like everybody. But you'll start to think you're crazy because he'll lie to you and say these things never happened when they really did. And also because you just can't see it because he keeps talking you out of it. Like saying it's just a horrible manipulation process. On top of it, the guy will add insult to injury by telling you that certain things never happened when you actually know for a fact that they did happen because you have the scars to prove it. Now, narcissists, they can be super fun. I mean, he had his good days too. But when his switch flipped, it was like, damn, what the hell is happening? I really felt like he was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because he honestly believed, I felt like he honestly believed that he didn't do these things. Anyway, she finally figured it out and saw him for what he really was, only because she saw it on her security cameras. She saw him acting up in one fight that they had over something really stupid where he was coming in and going out of the house, and it corroborated her story and her memory of what happened. So he couldn't talk his way out of it. But anyway, enough about this loser who, yes, does have a rap sheet about a mile long just in Florida, but he's from Illinois. Back to my little weirdo. Actually, he wasn't little at all. He was 6'6", about 6'6", or taller even, and well over 200 pounds at that height. And I'm 5 foot, 110 pounds, so it was actually extremely comical to see us together. We were kind of like Mutt and Jeff. Now, just to give you some background on the situation, this all happened about a few years ago that I dated this guy. We only knew each other for about a month. I went out with him like a few times. And I'm sure that is what made it way easier to get out. So I started a new job and he was in my training class. He definitely served as a pleasant distraction at that job Because it was a call center rep job. The fact that it pays well is probably the only reason anybody ever stays there, because they treat people like crap and they are highly disorganized. So anyway, this guy, I'll just call him Sam for purposes of this video to protect the guilty. Anyway, Sam and I would talk every day before work, and we'd eat lunch together because we had the same lunch. But I had a boyfriend, and I really don't like cheaters, so that it never went any farther than that. My boyfriend and I were having some issues in our relationship, so when he asked me out, I was like, yeah, but I did it the right way, and I did break things off with my current boyfriend before I went out with this guy. So we kept hanging out, and we even took a jet ski out one day, his jet ski, and then we went back to his place, but I couldn't shake this feeling. I don't know how to describe it really. It was just a gut feeling that something wasn't right. And I'm really glad that I listened to that gut feeling and didn't sleep with him. Sam continued to be really sweet, but I could tell he was getting frustrated because he wasn't getting what he wanted. Like I said, I liked him, but there was something telling me that this situation was not right. It all came to a head one night when we were talking back and forth via text message, like usual, and he started getting really weird and asking me what I was doing. I thought nothing of it, so I just told him I was chilling at home, relaxing, having a bubble bath, drinking a beer. I can't really explain, I can't put a finger on exactly what he would do to make it seem this way, but he would always make it seem like he was sacrificing so much to be with me, but in reality, he was sacrificing nothing. So after I told him that I was, alone in the bath, he started getting legit mad, and saying that he doesn't understand why I won't be with him. In guy talk, that means, why won't you have sex with me? At least, I think that's what it means. I'm not a guy, so I can't say for sure, but pretty sure that's what he meant. I obviously didn't respond. I mean, how do you tell someone that it just doesn't feel right to be with them? And that just made him even more mad. So I kind of stepped back and thought about the situation for a minute, and I knew the area where he grew up and lived for most of his life. So I did a little internet snooping, and what I found was not pleasant. Let's just say that. I figured out that he had been to jail a few times for a few things, but one of them was aggravated domestic battery. When I saw that, I just started bawling. I had never personally been down this road, but I know girls who have, and it never ends well. I knew better than to confront this guy because I wasn't ready for a possible violent response. I really did have high hopes for this guy, but now I was concerned with my safety. I mean, he knew where I lived as he had been over to my house multiple times, and he knew that I lived alone. He also didn't live far from me, which really freaked me out. Then he sent me the last message of our quote relationship. It was a long time ago and I blocked him right after he sent the message, so I can't tell you like word for word what he said, but the gist of it is that he was trying to make me think that he was watching me. And he said something along the lines of, "You just tilted a picture frame." Oh, hell no. I had already lived through way too much shit for this guy to like come in and just do me in. I was nowhere near a picture frame, but I could see what he was trying to do. And this, coupled with his other behavior, was just way too much. I could see this escalating and becoming a very bad situation very quickly. No one should ever be this terrified in their own home. Like I said, at that time I lived alone and I didn't have a gun, so I did the next best thing. I went into my garage and got my wasp spray, which is actually surprisingly very effective at deterring an assailant, because the guy at Home Depot told me that it can actually blind someone. And then I went into my kitchen and got my butcher block, which I would never use on someone unless it was an absolute last possible resort, like a him or me situation. And at that point, I was honestly thinking that it might come down to that. And of course, I made triple sure that all of my doors and windows were locked. Oh, and I think I texted my best friend to let her know about the situation, and also to let her know that if anything happens to me, this is who did it. Now, she's known these types of dudes before, so she completely got it. What's sad is, I think that every female in the United States at least knows these type of guys. You know, I never understood how any girl could be with someone like that, but now I realize that they're only with them until they figure out that they're like that. A lot of girls figure it out too late, and I feel really lucky that I did figure this out soon enough. You know, I obviously cut all ties with him once I figured it out. But the problem is that these guys are just so sneaky about it that you don't realize it's even happening until it's right on top of you. It was just super surprising to me that something like this could even happen to me, because I'm not the type of person that lets anyone tell me what to do. Especially a guy that I barely even know, much less pressure me into or out of doing something that I wanted to do. Alright, so I wanted to also give you ladies out there some tips to keep it from happening to you. Number one, listen to your gut. I can't stress this enough. You have to trust yourself, because you're all you have. Your instincts are spot on. We all have self-preservation instincts, and you've got to listen to them, especially in this situation. It was super weird and scary, because nothing like this had ever happened to me before, but instinctively I knew it was happening, and I knew what to do once I figured it out. So here are some red flags to identify these type of guys. They get super possessive, like super quick. That's a big one. I wasn't even his girlfriend yet, and he was texting me every night asking me what I was doing. Ladies, this is not because he's thinking about you and missing you. Okay, it's not. Sure, he might be thinking about you and missing you, but in reality, he wants to own you, and this is not love. You are not a person anymore. You are his property. You and your needs are not important. The only thing that matters to him is what he wants. Like when he would text me at night, the only things that he wanted to happen were he wanted to know if I was alone, and he also wanted to get me thinking about him. They want you to themselves. So if I happen to like be out with my dad or something, he would get kind of pissed and ask me when I was going to be home. Now, I thought it was because he wanted to come over. But no, he just wanted me to be isolated. Okay, so here's an example. I would call him when I did get home. He would have like an attitude with me and say that, well, yeah, I did want to come over, but you know, now it's too late and blah, blah, blah. And he would just try to make me feel bad about the situation, like I had done something wrong and that I somehow wasn't good enough. Do not ever, ever let a man make you feel this way. A woman should be cherished by a man, not owned. This is what they call gaslighting. Gaslighting is lying and otherwise psychologically manipulating a person until they question their sanity, and then that person actually begins to accept the other person's version of reality. It's an absolute abuse of power to try to dominate another person. A big characteristic of gaslighting is trying to manipulate your other relationships. And that's what he was doing. Remember how I said he got annoyed when I was hanging out with other people? I mean, even my dad? Yeah, total manipulation. Also, his actions didn't match up with what he told me. Like when he would call me every night or be annoyed that I was hanging out with other people, I just assumed that it was because he wanted to have some alone time with me. No. But never assume with behavior like this, because I was playing with fire and I didn't even know it. He was good. When gaslighting is done correctly, you don't even know what's happening. I know that this was only one characteristic of gaslighting, but I didn't even give him the chance to show me any more. There is such a thing as benefiting from other people's experience, and that's exactly what I did. I've seen my friends go through this. It often gets violent, and I am not about that lifestyle. So anyway, that's just my little experience with that. I really did learn a lot from that situation, and I just wanted to share it with all of you ladies, because if you are going through something like that, you are definitely not alone. I want to try to help and let you know that my figurative door is always open. I just want you to know that you're not alone. I was very grateful to have my best friend who had been through it. So she's actually the one who taught me all about it, because I didn't know anything, and seeing her go through it is how I actually learned about it. I just want you to know that I'll do whatever I can to help you out, confidentially, of course, because this is a very personal topic that I would not want to let anyone else know about if it wasn't necessary. So anyway, that's my life. Anyway, please comment down below if this video helped you. Please subscribe to my channel for future videos. And until next time, bye guys.